welcome to this week's podcast of We Know Nothing, a video game podcast.
Okay. Where you
Wow.
go on from there? This is Matt's first time actually being a big boy and talking for himself, so we're gonna give it a shot.
I was joking still, kinda.
Well, go on, just continue. That's the intro now.
Jesus.
You're fucked.
We got a lot of things on our list this week.
On our list. They're not supposed to know we have a list.
Too bad, I guess they know now.
We're off the cuff. We don't email ourselves links all week. That's stupid.
It's absolutely retarded. Who would do such a thing? But first, it looks like we got something up from PS3. Steven, I believe it's your article.
You're talking really loudly.
PlayStation 3 lands exclusive hour of content with Assassin's Creed 3. Includes 60 minutes of exclusive gameplay. How do you think this compares to other exclusive content that Xbox has been getting recently?
Who are you directing that to?
I said Steve.
I love it. I love it. Shove it down Microsoft's throat. No, I don't. This is something that I'd love to agree with. PS3 getting an extra hour of content, but I don't agree with console exclusive content for non-exclusive games. I just have a big problem with it, and even if it's in my favor this time, I'm still not a fan.
I'm surprised you actually said that.
I gotta stick to my guns.
I'm really surprised you said that. I thought you'd be all for it. Awkward
cricket.
silence.
Cricket.
Seth, anything from you?
I don't hate it. I mean, it gives you a reason to buy the game. The thing is, I mean, we're going to have exclusives either way, and it's only an hour. I mean, are you really missing much in the gameplay? Like, are we talking like an hour where you're going to learn everything, or is it going to be an hour just hack and slash and backstabbing people? I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
That was my question with it, is what's it going to be an hour of? Is it going to retain, like, special gear, where in this hour you get, like, a cool set that's going to carry you halfway through the game? Or do you learn some special cool story background that no one else will know unless you have it on PlayStation 3? Because, I mean, I put all my Assassin's Creed time into Xbox 360. Now am I going to want to swap over because it's going to benefit me more? Or
I've also
Will
got
you swap over?
swap over and play on the PS3 instead of 360?
Will you?
Oh, I thought you said, like, I don't know. It depends on what the hour is, I guess. I mean, is it going to give me something cool, or is it just going to be, like you said, just hack and slash and kill people?
Well, my problem is also the same thing boils down to where you're going to end up buying your game from too, and where you're going to get the pre-order bonus. Assassin's Creed is terrible with this. Best Buy is going to have a separate DLC than GameStop, which is going to be separate from Amazon, and it irritates the hell out of me. Just in any terms of someone getting more content than someone else just because they prefer to have a different controller.
I have to agree with you because when I got Dissidia, everywhere had their own bonus. But I mean, do you really need everything? Do you really need the extra controller? I mean, it's still the same game as far as the extra hour of content. I don't see it being anything big. It'll probably just be a side story or tutorial.
Chances are it's going to be side story, but is it going to reward you with something?
So like, will it make the game easier?
Not, yeah, I guess in a way.
Who knows? I mean, that's still yet to be seen. I mean, it's a smart move by Sony. You're thinking about switching consoles. Think about how many people who are diehard Assassin's Creed fans who might switch consoles. All the 3s and 4s of people there are.
Matt, you're not going to end up switching, and I know you too well. You're a little bit OCD. If the box is the wrong shape or bent a little bit, you're not going to switch. You're just going to want Xbox the whole time. So, I mean, you're not going to switch.
You're probably right.
Moving on.
God of War and Infamous are coming out with their collections. Infamous includes the first game, the second game, and the DLC Festival of Bloods. Let's see here, it also has extra missions, character costumes, power-ups, and weapon styles. God of War has the first 3 games, along with the Origins collection, which is Chains of Olympus and Ghost of Sparta, along with exclusive bonus content and a voucher for a 1-month trial for PlayStation Plus. I feel like God of War has a lot more in its package than Infamous does. What do you guys think of collections overall being re-released in one disc for $30? Seth?
I have a big problem mainly with the God of War specifically because we already have a God of War Collector's Edition. They came with the first and the second game. Came about the release of the third game. Can't hate it. I mean, it gets people playing the game more. It helps with people, not with backwards compatibility, but like me, I've never played God of War 1. Played the second two, and why not? I get to have a chance to have all three on one disc.
Steve, agree? Disagree?
See, I don't mind the God of War one as much because those games aren't as new. In God of War, it wasn't a whole collection. It was an HD remake, which was 2 games. This is 5 games. It's exclusive content. I don't mind that one as much. Infamous, I mean, I played Festival of Blood, and if you put more than a few hours into it, getting every trophy, then you shouldn't. It's like you've never played Infamous before. The games are newer. They still stand some sort of test of time. They're not. They just don't feel like they need their own collection yet. And that just makes me think that's the end of the Infamous series. So I'm kind of disappointed in that, hoping for some sort of 3. But
Well,
too much too
God
soon.
of War's not done. God of War's not done. And they're making a collector's edition already.
I don't know.
Got a game before he was even turned, or before he even tried to kill himself. I mean, he's becoming less powerful.
But that's not going to happen in Infamous. The first one started when you got your powers. Unless we're going to be a bike courier for a couple of years in Infamous 3, the prequel, then there's nowhere for it to go. And with the collection, I feel like it's just the last nail in the coffin.
Matt, is Cole dead?
Oh, it depends on which ending you played.
Exactly.
But yeah, I didn't even think about that not being a reason to not come out with the third game. You kind of just ruined it for me, Steve.
Oh, what were you going to say?
What
Or
do
are you
you
going to
know?
have absolutely no opinion on this whole thing?
I kind of agree with you. I like because God of War has older game, came out on PlayStation 2.
To be fair, a little bit of spoilers. I think with either ending, Infamous continues. Even in the good ending.
How does it continue?
What about the way end when the boat's floating away? What's the last thing you see on the screen? Exactly. They have plenty of room to shoehorn in another game.
So his body, his dirty left rigor mortis, is rotting. It's on some sort of ship, and we're going to get some zombie cold lightning powers.
We got Vampire Cole already. I'm not ruling it out.
Side story.
Ending it.
Actually, and if you played Festival of Blood, which you obviously didn't, the whole game is just a lie that Zeke is telling some chick in the bar to pick her up. So, you just
Wow.
got faced.
You just got faced. Anyways, we talked a little bit about this last week. Games adding easy modes to make them easier to get out to a broader range for an audience and getting everybody to play their game and seeing the content, blah, blah, blah. There's a game, Dragon's Dogma. It's adding a patch to make the game easier. Puts in an easy mode. Steve, you know a lot more about this than either one of us do, so why don't you explain a little bit?
Well, the only thing I actually have experienced Dragon's Dogma was the demo, but I actually enjoyed it a little bit. I don't see... It's basically adding in a raid finder mode of the inner WoW game. It's going to make an easier experience, but it's still going to be the same sort of things you're going to be seeing. I don't mind as much, but I do have a problem. I don't know. I don't know exactly where I'm going with this, but I just have a problem with an easy mode in general. I think if you can't beat the game, you can't beat the game in QQ, but it's not. It's a type of game where an easy mode isn't necessarily going to get you carried too much.
Listen to this hypocrite here. Oh, I can't see all the content, so I like a raid finder mode. But you want to what? If you can't beat it, QQ.
Well, I'm also not paying 15 extra bucks a month every month I'm playing Dragon's Dogma. I would pay for
I don't know.
DLC, wouldn't I?
I think there's a big difference between making a game easier and making an easy mode. Matt kind of slipped up and said it was, making the game easier. I mean, you could give extras to the people who get in hard mode, give it achievements, but you can't hate an easier mode. I mean, not everybody's an elite gamer. You got to remember that.
They should be.
All right, so here's another counter argument. I've got severe arthritis, and I love playing games, specifically RPGs. But something about this way the game plays, my hands physically can't do it. What do you say to me?
Easy mode. Not
Exactly.
for it.
What's your? But you don't like easy modes, Matt. Too bad for me. I should be an elite gamer, right? Even though I've got this condition where I can't play the game.
Sucks to suck.
All
I
right,
don't know, Steven.
we're not going to get
We
it.
know a one-handed WoW player who does pretty well for himself.
Yeah, I know, right?
Gotta make it work. No, I mean, you can't hate easy mode, especially now that games are so popular. You really can't hate. I mean, what if your girlfriend wants to play?
Yeah, I kind of said this with Halo last week or the week before, where it's they got their beginner mode and then they have legendary, and if you beat it on legendary, you get this super secret ending, right? So you can't hate on the easy mode like Seth is saying, but although I like to think I'm an elite gamer, that's my stand on it. Okay, we kind of talked about Dawnguard in the past couple weeks too. I'm not particularly a fan of the Elder Scrolls games, but Dawnguard hits the PC. They got their extra content, but PS3 is still being delayed. This is because they're not satisfied with how well it's working on the PlayStation 3. They want to make sure it's good to go and they're proud of their products before they actually release it to the public. Like, dislike, what do you guys think?
Huge dislike. I mean, Sony should have been a little more prepared. Now, is it? I don't even know. Is it Sony that's stopping it, or is it Bethesda that's stopping it?
Bethesda.
Bethesda. I don't know how to pronounce it.
And it's Bethesda that's stopping it. Well, I'll just bring this up first. They've been having a lot of issues with, this game on PS3. They've had lag issues. They've had just a ton of problems. They delayed patch 1.6. All the content's coming in 1.7. They've just been really sluggish with it. And I mean, if you can't make the game equal on both platforms, what are you going to do? Blame the platform? A ton of other games come out, and they have no problems with it. So, Bethesda, get your shit together. Just release the game already.
I have a bigger problem with them releasing it for one and holding it off on the other. Like, I mean, there's one thing to have exclusives before for a month, but then, like, the PC one doesn't make sense to me. It's like, why wouldn't you even at least hold the PC for PS3? I mean, you're only hurting the PS3. Is it a conspiracy? I don't know.
Well, otherwise you'd be hurting PC players if you don't release the content. So you can't win either way.
Make everybody hurt. Makes more sense to me.
One suffers, we all suffer.
So
Exactly.
should Xbox get it first?
That's a whole different game. That's them getting exclusive content first.
But since we can't get the content now, why should we suffer? You can't lean back on that argument because it happens. They have the game right now. I don't. I'm suffering. So why aren't we all suffering? Why does Xbox get it?
I think a bigger problem is they should have had all of them ready when they released Xboxes, so they could at least get that month. I mean, come on, you're making the whole Yoda Darth Vader argument in Soul Calibur. Like, yeah, sure, one gets it, but the other one, I mean, it's gonna happen regardless. We're gonna have exclusives. You love your extra hour in Assassin's Creed. I mean, it's just how it works now.
I said that wasn't for the extra hour. But way to listen.
You'll love it. You'll love it. We know it.
He loves it because he's going to get it, but he doesn't like the fact that he's going to get it. He doesn't want to have his cake and eat it too.
Exactly, because then something is just going to end up going wrong. I'd just be a big hypocrite.
Well, some people get their cake before others. It's just how it works. I mean, then why even have like console exclusive games at that point? It's not fair to have, Infamous come out on PS3 and not come out on Xbox. Where do you draw the line?
I'm not a big fan of that slippery slope argument. I was just countering your point.
Ooh.
We're only 1 point away. We're only 1 point away being exclusive. It's not like it's a slippery slope. Like, oh wow, the whole gaming industry is going down because of it. No, it's just one step away.
No, because the problem is exclusives come with developers. Now, if a developer doesn't have an exclusive, then it's just the games for both. Exclusive games just happen. It's not like extra DLC. It just happens.
It's not extra, is it? They just got it first.
It might not even come out, they say. At this point, it's extra.
Didn't look at it that way.
So you're saying it's up to it's more because they have to be exclusive? I really don't get your argument here.
If they're going to release the game on PS3, then the game should be the same for everybody. That's my argument. If they weren't, I wouldn't have this big problem if they said Skyrim is just for Xbox, then I'd be like, you know what? I'd rather get it for Xbox or I won't play the game. But don't hinder my experience just because I picked a different platform to play your game. I mean, I chose that platform. Should nothing to, my experience with the platform should have nothing to do with my experience with the developer. But it is at this point.
Can't agree with you.
I'm neutral. Switzerland. Anyways, Sony posts that they have lost $312 million in this last quarter. It's a lot better than what it used to be, but I mean, a lot of things can contribute to this. It's our accounting shit. They're having big problems with Skyrim. Could that be part of it? Maybe.
Sony? No. That didn't contribute much. Look, we're looking at Japan, and look at the last year Japan's had. I mean, they're just coming back together. And the other thing with it is, look at how terrible the Vita did. You can't blame it. They've been inconsistent in their handheld sales. That's the only thing they're having trouble with. I mean, coming off their last one, I mean, look at it. It's $2.03 billion lost it was just 2 quarters ago. So the fact that they're back up such a high percentage, they're recovering but slowly.
Yeah, I think that's apparent. But if they're doing so bad with their handhelds, what do you think a red flag should be going off somewhere saying maybe we should stop releasing handhelds?
No, because the point should be brought up with this. How were PS3 sales when they first came out?
It was shitty.
But now PS3 is catching up to Xbox, and even though it was released a year later, they're almost passing them in console sales. That's after the whole cheating with the whole Red Ring of Death situation where people will buy 4 or 5 Xboxes themselves. I think it's a slow burn with Sony, and they're going to feel it for a while. And I think they didn't have enough games upon release, so it's their fault, but I don't think they should completely stop.
Any input, Seth?
Well, remember these are the Sony numbers. The PlayStation brand itself is only part of it. Although, I mean, it can contribute. I mean, it just kind of attributes to all the company's success. I think it's more economical than game related. I think all game companies are really suffering.
Well, you also got to see it from this point of view. Nintendo lost $220 million in their quarter, so they're suffering too. I know Microsoft is a completely separate entity than the two. I mean, they're all 3 of them are individually separate. But with the Nintendo loss and the Sony loss, Matt, you afraid of any other losses? You afraid of the impact on the industry it's going to have?
No. So I think they're going to keep producing anyways. They're just going to keep going. I don't think they'll quit just because they had a loss. I mean, like you already said, they were at a huge loss when they first released the PlayStation 3. But they continued to take the prices down just to sell more product. Even if they were selling consoles at a loss, they would still, they're just going to keep going.
All right, and I'm going to say this in the podcast right now. We have a quality problem with this Skype call. We're having just some issues with it, so we apologize right now if it sounds shitty at certain points. It's probably my internet's fault, but I just want to throw that out there. Now, sorry for interrupting. Go on, Matt.
Heck, I guess. Speaking of losing things, World of Warcraft posts their numbers at the end of June 2012. They're down to 9.1 million subscribers, which is down from 10.2 in the previous report's cutoff. I mean, this game has been out for a long, long time, and 9.1 million players is still a lot of individual players, But do you think when this release, do you think this number is going to go up drastically, or just a little bit?
Well, I think as far as the losses go, I mean, Blizzard's trying to cover it all themselves because, with the release of Diablo 3, with the new expansion coming out for StarCraft, they're like, oh, everyone's just waiting. We're up in other areas, so WoW is only being affected by that. I think the WoW numbers are overall down. I mean, I don't know. I don't think we're not going to come back to our former glory anytime soon. I don't know if I don't want to say WoW's done, but it's not. We're not going to see what we saw in West King. We're just not going to anymore.
No. Yeah, I agree with you. It's not. WoW had its heyday, and it's just on the way down. But they're going to keep pumping out games as long as they're making a profit. And I mean, $15 a month, 9.1 million subscribers. That's still a hefty chunk of change.
See, I'm going to look a little further into this, and I'm going to disagree with the two of you. They say most of these numbers come from China. Now, primarily, what do you get from China? And or
Aside from
stereotypically,
lead poisoning.
well, aside from that,
Sorry.
what do you get in terms of wow from China? Gold farming. You get a lot of Chinese gold farmers. You get all this other problem, power leveling. It's the end of the expansion cycle. So a lot of those subs dropped off because a lot of those companies are probably having trouble with it. That's my point of view. I mean, we're at the end of the cycle. I think we're going to see a gigantic boost for Mists. How long is it going to stay that way? I don't know. But we're at the end of the expansion cycle. People are bored with all their content. They know they're not going to see more content till after September. So why not just drop out? I did. And I'm coming back.
I have a question. When's BlizzCon?
They're not having it this year.
Oh, they're not.
Oh, they said last year. They said that they were. It's they when they first made BlizzCon, they never said it was going to be an annual thing, and they said they had plans to pump out 3 games this year, which would be StarCraft 2 expansion, which has yet to come out, Pandaria, and Diablo 3. They've already got release date for Pandaria. Diablo 3 is already out. They want to get Heart of the Swarm out before the year's over, so they said they wanted to put all their resources into pumping out those 3 games rather than focus on putting on a big BlizzCon.
Well, fine then. In next year's E3, we're gonna see another expansion.
I can't even.
I think.
No, I can't even hear you clearly. I'm just having a problem with this. This quality is terrible. Like, you sound
I
terrible.
was just gonna say that at the end of I think E3 next year, you're gonna see a lot more expansions come out quicker. I think until we see something big as far as WoW goes, maybe the economy comes back a little bit, that we're going to see a lot of sustaining, but I don't know. I just think they need something big, but they're not in trouble yet.
Moving on, we talked about this a little bit last week. When I talked about it, I just kind of mentioned it at the end of last week's podcast. DayZ has recently announced that it's going to be its own standalone game. This all started from a mod inside of the game R2. Where it all started? It all started from like a inspired by a true story type of thing, where this soldier was dropped into the jungle of New Zealand, and he had to survive practically an entire month on just his survival instincts, like killing his own stuff for food and finding clean water to drink and waiting for someone to come pick him up and rescue him, basically. And that's where the producers and developers got their inspiration from. They said we're gonna make a game that is all about what happens when the world goes into chaos. So now you got zombies walking all over the place. There's no authority. You're just out there in the open, fend for yourself. And so DayZ has surpassed 1 million users since we last had our podcast. And just in July, it broke 400,000 users. So I mean, that's 600,000 users in the span of a month. It's gone up. I mean, it's a big change. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I think period as far as mods become games, we've seen a lot more lately. We know League of Legends is out, and there's going to be a Dota game. Team Fortress came from a mod. I think, it's a good trend. I don't know if it'll hit big. It's kind of just, it's a zombie survivalist game. Like, we've never seen any of those before. It seems like Fallout hardcore, or, Fallout New Vegas hardcore. You wouldn't know anything about it, but, I mean, it'll do okay. I don't see anything huge from it, though.
You don't think a million individual users is a lot?
For free mod. But I don't think all those people will convert to a new game. Plus, the developer will have a good chance of ruining the game. They'll take what they love in the mod and just change it to a completely different game.
See, my problem comes with it, and I'm not trying to pick on you, Matt, because I know you like the thought of the game. You just like the whole thing in general. My big problem is, how does that turn into a full-scale game? Because as you said last week, it comes down to a lot of ganking, a lot of killing. I mean, that's why there's a million people, because they could just fuck around and do whatever they want. I don't think those people are going to pay for a full game. I think, yeah, it's fine if they've already got this one game in this mod, but and it comes down to $60, or if they took the free-to-play model, I'd understand. But at this current point, I don't see how they can succeed.
Okay, what if they create a big long storyline to it, and then they enhance what they have now and call that multiplayer? And I know you can't see me, but I did the quotes with your fingers.
That's not the same game.
You don't think so?
Exactly. They're completely changed the game. That's one of the points I brought up. I mean, you're not going to see a full feature of this mod. Like, there's a reason Gary's mod was ever made into a game either. So,
I gotcha. Agree to disagree.
You're saying that a lot this week.
I don't know. Being neutral here.
Well, yeah, that wasn't neutral. We have a completely different
Oh, you're being passive. You're being a patsy, I should say.
a patsy.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, speaking of our next topic.
What
Yeah,
do you mean? Isn't this just on the fly?
clearly. You can tell with your little stiff-jointed segues.
Hey, I didn't create this for segues. I created this because it's how I wanted to do it. Complete chaos.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no one listening knows what the fuck is gonna happen next.
This
As
is
you
totally
can-
intentional, too.
It's gonna be Matt going, so anyways, Gearbox is talking about Borderlands 2 DLC. Not like there's a topic or anything we're gonna discuss, but
It's not next.
he's jumping all over the place. Haven't you noticed? It's chaos, it's anarchy. We never know what's coming up next. He's skipped right over. I'm not gonna ruin your point. Just go on.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. Don't worry, we'll get to it.
Like, he skipped over the first thing on our list, so...
Well, I didn't put it on the list. I hadn't watched over this thing. No one mentioned it at all.
he's kind of falling apart.
Just go on. Go on.
I'm not falling apart. We just got on a little tangent.
He's a little butthurt today.
Yeah.
That was the perfect lead-in, Matt.
Yeah, you could have taken my Gearbox Talks Borderlands 2 DLC, and then you could have been like, well, anyway.
No.
Well, then I was going for the butthurt thing.
Yeah, that's what I got. Speaking of butthurt, GamerCon, the first LGBT game convention.
Now, Matt, what does LGBT stand for? Because I have no idea.
I think it's lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual,
Wow. Who
trans-
knows?
transgender.
Transgendered, yeah, you came so close. Transsexual and transgendered. Don't
Gay.
do.
You guys are gay.
I support the gays.
Yeah,
Why?
that's kind of my take on it. Like, I support the gays; they can do what they want. I'm not against them or anything. But then they go out and do this kind of thing. They're gonna have their own gaming convention and say it's a gay gaming convention. Now, what if I wanted to go to this gaming convention? Can I not go because I'm not gay?
You can go.
Yeah, Matt, go ahead.
Meet a nice
We won't
fella.
say anything, I swear.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
waiting for you to bring up this topic just to nail you on it.
Yeah.
All week I've been waiting to do this.
I figured I shouldn't have even told you about it. Should have just been like, surprise!
I mean, like with all our topics, it's all off the cuff and everything.
Oh yeah, totally.
All right,
Sarah, the rest of the jokes I made.
let's get serious for a minute. Matt, what's your problem with this?
They're saying like they're flaunting it in front of our faces. Rather than just like doing their own thing and existing along with us, they're saying this is our thing and you guys can go do whatever you want. But this is our thing, and I feel like I'm not welcome to it.
You see, I don't
Like the
mind.
whole marriage thing.
Yeah, exactly. God, why should we be able to get married? No. My thing is, if it's just this once, let them have it. All the power to gay gamers. We're seeing this trend in gaming, and I like it. I'm glad about it. That they're allowing gay options for video games. I mean, Skyrim, Bethesda didn't even mention the fact that you could get married to someone of the same sex. It was just implemented. When people ask about it, why didn't you market it off that, or why didn't you say it? They said it wasn't a big deal. In this world, people can get married. Same thing in Mass Effect 3. You can have a same-sex love interest. I think it's a good direction for gaming. I think as long as this is the one-off convention where they can talk about their issues and everything about like that in gaming. Now, if it becomes this big, clusterfuck, and I mean I'm using that very lightly because I know what clusterfuck can lead to in this conversation. But if it just turns into a big, a big to do, then I've got a problem with it. But as it stands right now, just give them their 3 days and have fun.
I have a few different problems with it. One, they're trying to get all their funds through Kickstarter. A lot of places are doing Kickstarter now.
Stop
It's not
saying
like shut up. It's not like they. Oh, there's no organization so far. It's just like, hey, let's do this. Another problem I have is I don't think the gaming industry is exactly like segregated at this point. Like, is there a big problem with gays not being in there? Is there a lot of homophobia in games? I don't really think so. I think this will just be the same kind of convention. Nerdy guys and cosplay chicks. Just that'll be it.
a little thicker plot cosplay chicks than usual, even though they're all pretty thick to begin with.
And they won't fuck for different reasons. I've been saving that one.
Steve, what was the thing like when I first brought it up to you? You said something about parades and stuff. I kind of like that point. I forgot what you said though.
Oh yeah, I was gonna have your back a little bit, but now I'm raising a counterpoint.
Yeah.
Another reason why it's bad, so we can just all hate on gays today, is that gay people can have a gay pride parade. Now, if I walked down the street and said I'm walking for straight pride and I'm glad I'm a heterosexual, that can be seen as a little hateful, but it's not seen hateful the other way. Is that the point you're talking about?
Yeah, I like that point.
Yeah, well, you can continue with it.
What do you mean I can continue with it? It's your point.
You're the one that wanted me
Yeah,
to
you
bring it
brought
up.
Yeah, but I don't remember what you said.
It's not fair, basically. If we're talking about everything being fair and equal, then this should be open to everybody. Now, it's not saying it's not open to everybody, so I think we're jumping the gun a little bit, and I think it's not going to be, hey, let's all. I mean, how many times at gay clubs, and I'm sure I have plenty of experience in this, I've heard that bachelorette parties go to gay clubs. Why? No reason whatsoever. It's like straight people can be allowed to go to a gaming convention. There's no problem with it. I wouldn't mind going to a gay convention, and before you jump on me, I'm just going to keep speaking, but I'd also go to regular conventions, straight convention, whatever I want.
Basically, you're gonna do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck.
I like all three of us just said fuck.
We don't give a fuck.
Oh, go on. Next topic that you're going to randomly think off the top of your head is...
Oh, I think it has something to do with League of Legends. I don't know why.
Oh! What's been news? It's not League of Legends, but who makes League of Legends? Riot Games, is it?
Yeah, that's it, that's the one.
Okay, and I think they've done something this week. What could it possibly be?
I think it's, they're gonna create their own online gaming league, that's right, yeah.
God damn it, you're right. That's exactly what I was thinking of. I don't know why.
I've never heard any of this.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus, we only post the links in our emails.
Matt, go twice.
I don't read this shit.
Matt, just explain what it is, then we'll go into it.
Alright, they're gonna call it the League of Legends Championship Series. Basically, they're going to take the top 8 teams from Asia, North America, and Europe and put them in weekly matches that will be broadcasted in HD for free. The teams will be competing for millions of dollars in prizes, and it's also going to be salaried, so that this can be a sustainable career choice for a professional player. What I kind of equated this to was professional sports. I don't think that's exactly what they're trying to do with it. It's going to take place in a format of other televised sports. They're going to start this with their Season 3, and one of the concerns is that they're going to leave their other, what are they called, partners? They're going to leave them behind, but that's not the point at all. This is just going to be, like the elite gamers, and this is going to be the top tier of competition in League of Legends. But they're still going to have, the Championship Series and the Challenger Circuit and all the events. Like through IGN and Intel and Major League Gaming. But this makes me want to be really good at League of Legends so I can get paid to play video games. Too bad that's never going to happen.
Yeah, you are terrible at League of Legends. I've played a lot this week, and I've done surprisingly well. I am awesome with 2 characters. Now just go a little inside the people. Morgana and Garen. Except for I'm not good at solo top Garen. But besides that, which is a funny way to think about it after talking about the gay stuff, solo top. Aside from all that, I rock with those 2. I've been 5-1 in normal pick games, but I don't know. Matt, to get back to my point, Matt plays as Ashe and he still can't figure her out. Easiest person to gank ever. Will not leave his own lane. Uses his ultimate whenever he feels like it. Not in any good moment.
What's funny? The last game I played is they're like, Ash, do your ultimate here and ping the map, and I just shot it to where it was, and I hit somebody. It was amazing. I felt awesome.
Oh, so you're told what to do and you actually did it.
Yeah.
Sounds like your arena team.
That's a good one, dude. Not.
Yeah. All right, Seth. What do you think about Riot having their own gaming league?
I think it's not going to be something that works. Look, I think as far as gaming, professional gaming goes, it works much more like, ironically, timely enough, the Olympics, to where, sure, you can get paid for it. The really good people could do it, but I don't think it'll work week after week, and I don't think professional gamers will be celebrated, at the same level as professional athletes.
I didn't mean like that they're going to be on the same level. I just kind of equated it to that. Like, because they're going to have weekly matches, and then they're going to have, like, the team's going to get a record, and then they're going to have a playoffs of sorts at the end. And it's going to be, like, a one world champion at the end until the next season. And
I know what you mean, but what I'm getting at is I don't think, look, it's not Riot Games. Where do they really get their money, and how are they going to pay these people that much? Like, it's not going to be sustainable this way. I think they're going to drive themselves into the ground. If they did, we're going to have a 3-day tournament every couple months, that'd be one thing. But weekly matches, sorry.
3-day tournaments haven't taken off ever. I mean, they have a ton of them. Every time I check Arena Junkies, they bring up this one or that one. I've never heard of any of them. I've never heard of any of the teams. It'll keep me invested into a game. It'll keep other people invested into the game. And it'll make a bunch more people actually pay attention to the game. I see nothing bad about this. I think
just because you're a League of Legends player that you're hearing about this. I mean, Matt, you've heard of StarCraft leagues. You've seen the WoW yearly BlizzCon ladder or the arena competition. I just think you just haven't heard of them before. Not that they don't work.
There's a ton other that are out there. I mean, you're talking about one of them a year. And yes, most people just watch the Super Bowl, I understand. But a lot of other people watch the season.
yeah, I feel like I agree with Steve here. I believe it's going to take off and do pretty well for itself.
You're just optimistic.
You're just the negative Nancy.
No, I really don't think it'll work. I don't think I don't think Riot's the right company to do it with. I don't think they have that much money to play around with.
Do you know how much money they make on their microtransactions? Enough. You know how many people play League of Legends? A lot. People who don't even play regular video games in my newsfeed always talk about League of Legends. They love it. And
yeah, but are they going to watch? Are they going to watch weekly competitions?
Well, for some reason, recently they've started letting you watch ranked games, and they've been doing well enough to where they'd want to make it. I mean, it's not like they haven't dabbled into this before. I could open League of Legends right now and watch some people play. In fact, I might just do that right now. I'm going to watch some professionals.
Skype quality are awful.
Yeah, that'd be the worst thing ever. It's not like it's really bad.
Lols.
But I think they've dabbled with it enough. And
yeah, I don't think they'd just jump into it all willy-nilly and be like, hey, guys, we're going to try this. You know?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you know. So, spontaneous? No, we're not going to do that again.
Yeah, you did like 4 times already.
Actually, Steve already mentioned this earlier. Gearbox talks Borderlands 2 DLC. It's basically a whole new class that they're going to add to the game, right? From what I understand, it's not going to be in Borderlands 2 at release. It's only going to come with the DLC. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Mechromancer. It's a chick. It's kind of like, how did they word it? The lead guy of What's the company's name?
No
Gear-
one's helping you out.
Gearbox. The owner of Gearbox built his own PC, not just like buying parts and putting it together like I did. He like built everything. His own video card. He built the video card, then put it in. Built the processor, put it in. Blah 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 blah. This character's kind of based around that. She wanders around the wasteland, picking up whatever she can find and just builds stuff. She has a. It looks like from these drawings that she has a like back arm. Yeah.
Where are you going with this?
How do you guys feel about having, like the game released, has all its classes, its balance, whatever, blah blah blah, and all of a sudden DLC drops, new class, new into the game. Does it change it? Keep the same? Is it
No.
balance? Overpowered?
This is one instance where I don't mind that, where I don't mind the DLC as much. See, the whole point with adding DLC is you want a new experience. You just don't want story plus. Like Final Fantasy 13-2 was one of the worst cases of DLC I've ever played. But they just simply added maybe 2 people to play as some side story. This will make a completely new gaming experience to where I'd want to play the game again. That's the way you do it.
That's one of the benefits of Borderlands. Everybody feels like that it has a high replay value because you play through as one class, then you want to play through as the other one because it's a completely different play style.
And now you've got another 5th one, and then they could release a 6th one, and then it keeps going, and then they succeed and make more money. I think that's the way to do it.
I think balancing's the bigger issue here. I don't think it's a terrible thing, but anytime you introduce, whether it's through expansions like Diablo 2 or WoW, when you add classes through expansions, it's hard to. They always seem to be either severely underpowered or severely overpowered. That being said, it's good. Keeps people playing Borderlands 2. It's a pretty popular game. I've personally I've never played it, so I can't have as much of an input as far as its replay value, but people seem to enjoy it.
I started playing the first one last summer. I got about halfway through it, and I kind of wanted to play it the other day just so I could add it onto my recently played games, but
Talk about it now.
that didn't happen. Well, I'm not done with this yet. They said that they've created hooks into the game that allow them to add characters as patches as DLC, and there's no technical reason why they couldn't just keep adding more and more and more. Now, this kind of irks me a little bit because they're putting stuff in the game. Like we kind of went over this a little bit already. Like when I buy the game, everything that's in it, I want to be able to play. Now they're adding stuff into the game, but they're gonna.
No, I think you misread that a little bit. I think what they were saying is we allow the capability to add new characters, aka these hooks, not what Capcom's been doing, as in this character is already in this base game. We're just not going to let you play it yet. I think there's a big distinction between the two of them that need to be made.
Yeah, I was going to throw on what's the intent here? Is the intent if we decide to release characters, it'll be easier to integrate, or is it we will release characters later that we will sell for money?
That's what I'm having trouble distinguishing.
So I guess we'll just have to wait and see, won't we?
And we'll never know. It all depends how they announce it too. What if Capcom just waits and go, "Oh my God, we've had such success with this. We're going to add characters because we made it easy to add these characters."
This isn't Capcom, it's Gearbox. My Capcom example was a different company.
I know, but I'm just saying. What if Capcom took the position that Gearbox took, saying the same things, making it seem natural instead of, already having all the game data in there?
See, they've already been caught once, though. They've had the game data in there.
Fine. Who's making the Battle Royale for Sony?
Oh, shoot.
What
I
if they
can't
do
remember
it?
the name off the top of my head. I'd have
Well,
a problem
what if
with
they
it.
do- But what if you don't even know? That's my point. What if they say, "Oh, we have these hooks," but what if they know they're going to release 4 characters?
Then that's
We don't know. Is my point.
And that's what I'm having trouble distinguishing because I don't. Like you said, it all depends on how they're going to announce it and how they go about, I guess, releasing them. Because if it's like, oh, this character's in the game already, but we're gonna let you play him now for this amount of money, then I'll be a little irked by that. But if it's completely new to the game, I think that's acceptable.
I don't think that's going to be the case at all. Wow, these people are fucking these other people up. I've been watching League of Legends for a while. That's why I've been a little slow in conversation. This Morgana E combo is killing this middle lane.
Lol.
Wow.
Alright, what's the next topic? I'm then my tab up.
Wow, you're being real lazy, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I'm tired today. I'm just like, fuck this. I'm just doing whatever I want. I don't give a fuck.
What
You
you
don't
work
give a
one day?
fuck.
You work one day in the last 3 years, and then you decide you're tired all of a sudden.
Now 3 years. I'm tired because I stayed up really late last night playing video games, which we can talk about later.
Well, anyways, Borderlands 2
Yeah,
is set to
see?
launch
Yeah.
on September 18th. And hopefully I'll beat Borderlands 1 by then so I can play that one. Oh, here we go. I almost forgot to mention this. The character is available as a free download to the members of Borderlands 2 Premier Club, which can be accessed by pre-ordering Borderlands 2 from a participating retailer.
So it's free DLC at the beginning. I got the Rock when I got
Oh,
WWE 12
Free
when I bought
DLC
it.
if you buy something else, just like the Modern Warfare Elite there.
No, it's going to be free if you order from one of the participating retailers, which they didn't say who they are yet. I mean, maybe it's just GameStop. So if you want it for free, you'll get it from GameStop. It's kind of like on a smaller scale, like Microsoft getting exclusive content before PlayStation.
Well, no, I don't have as much of a problem with this because all it's doing is making people pre-order the game. And when you see games that have, shoot, I just completely forgot my thought. Games that allow multiplayer if you pay an extra amount of money. I mean, it's the same sort of thing, I think, for this one. So it's kind of hard for me to have a problem with it. It's just letting people play this game, or allow people to buy this game new retail as opposed to used.
Well, it saves everybody money and time and makes people money when they pre-order. You know that, right? Like the reason that companies try and force you to pre-order is because they know how many to make. They're not overmaking. They're not undermaking.
I know, but it just gives them better numbers. It'll just give them better sales numbers, and they make $0 on used games. So this is the only profit for them.
Yeah, it's not just sales number. It's the profit too. Profit instead of sales, because they can make a ton of sales and still overstock.
But they make no profit off DLC. I mean, no profit off of used games, and they're just preventing used games, making you buy it pre-owned or making it buy pre-order it and buy it new. That's all I'm saying. Separate points. Next
Yeah.
topic.
Next topic. This is something that I don't believe any of us have played, so maybe we're not that knowledgeable on it. But hey, it's okay because we know nothing.
Oh wow,
That's a great segue.
See what I did there?
that was bad.
Wait.
That was like 6 degrees of
I don't get
separation between that.
I don't get it.
Matt, why don't you explain that again for us?
No, it's okay. I'm good. Mass Effect 3 is coming out with new DLC called Leviathan, and it's going to change Mass Effect 3's ending. I'm sure we have all heard the controversy about how bad Mass Effect 3 ended and how much people wanted it to change.
I haven't heard about it. Tell me about it.
Oh my god, shut up. You've heard about it. Now, do you agree, disagree with this? Shut up. Just let me go on.
I don't know anything, Matt.
shit.
You gotta tell me because we know nothing.
Let him host for once. Jesus.
Says the person who's telling him when to go on to the next topic.
Well, he needs a little help.
What was that, Matt?
Mass Effect 3, Leviathan DLC. It's going to change the end of the game. Do you like this? Not like this? Is it okay because the people wanted it? Is it not okay? I mean, what do you guys-
Any other game, this wouldn't be okay. But because of everything that's been surrounding Mass Effect 3, I don't mind it as much.
You're gonna get just as much controversy for changing the ending as you do with a shitty ending.
No, not with this one. People hated the way this game ended.
Are we gonna start changing movie endings too next?
Hey, there are such things called director's cuts. What's the problem with
Yeah.
having a Mass Effect 3 DLC director's cut?
It's not a director's cut. They're changing it.
It's not really changing it because I guess I'm reading a little bit here. I guess there's rifts in the game, and
Oh, well, that's copycatting something.
the DLC is going to create an additional rift in your ending, which ultimately changes the ending.
It adds a little Yeah, I did read it earlier. It said it has some Easter eggs and stuff. It's just gonna like add one thing, which changes the whole meaning to the whole thing. I don't know. I mean, don't game's out. You blew it. You lost your chance. Personally,
Nope. Everything
Feel
can be. That's PS1, PS2 thinking. I mean, everything has a day one patch to fix bugs. I had no problem with
Is
DLC
it
fixing
fixing a
other
bug?
problems. Yes, it's fixing the ending because the ending was bad.
bad, not a bug. Big difference.
I don't really care either way because I didn't play the game.
But what if they change the ending to Final Fantasy 13?
Am I gonna have to pay for it? Then I'm gonna have a big problem with it.
To be continued, Matt.
Exactly. I guess, okay, I don't play the game, so I don't care. If I did play the game, it depends on how into it I was. Because if I hated the ending, I'd welcome a new change, but I wouldn't want to pay for it. But I'm seeing right here, it's going to cost $10.
Well,
I wouldn't
it's
want to pay $10 to fix the ending. I should have got a good
not just
ending,
the ending though. It's adding a whole separate thing to the game, whole new rift.
which is why they can say that they're charging $10 for it, because it's a whole new rift.
Now, do you think that's a bad thing? If it was to happen in some other game, good or bad, just say that.
Again, it depends on how into the game I was.
But overall,
Say good or bad.
You can't have an opinion in general. You know how I kind of had to. I got 1 extra hour free for Assassin's Creed 3, but I had to stick to my guns, and you've got no guns to stick to, basically, right?
Yeah,
Or what? Ugh.
I've got no guns to stick to. I'm not a sticky person.
What
Okay.
else?
cricket.
Steve's gonna have a lot of editing to do today.
Yeah, tonight, especially since we're doing this a day later. I still want to get this out on Friday. Oof. Being for a late night tonight.
Okay, I'm gonna admit that I did not read this last article, so it's gonna be all you guys, and then I'll try to give an opinion if that's possible.
How did you not read this article?
I don't know, I just didn't.
Just doing this
The
off the
title
cuff.
didn't intrigue you?
Yeah, because we're doing it off the cuff. What article are you talking about?
Look, you make me email you articles and you don't even read the ones I email you?
Because
Really?
he only emailed me one.
I emailed you 3.
2 I already had.
Just
can't.
continue.
The future of gaming and virtual reality. ID Software's John Climack explains why Doom 3 on Rift is just the first step.
Do you want me to explain
Yeah,
kind of what's happening?
yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, what happened is they had a big announcement, and they have pretty much a prototype, a working prototype of this virtual reality system. It's a headset. They haven't made the headset look good yet. It looks like a pair of snowboarding goggles with a whole bunch of wires around it. But you can't move the ability to shoot and the ability to do certain things with your mind, but you still have to use a controller. But you're aiming using your head. So you're looking around, and wherever you look is where you're aiming. I mean, we're at the first step of virtual reality. I don't think I'd ever, embrace it fully, but it is a kind of cool feature to have. And my big point with this was, okay, say they do come out with a headset where you're able to do things like that, move around. Is it going to be just like the Move or Connect, where it's kind of, it's not quite as popular as it used to be? Or will this be something worth investing into, and will it be something that is the next step of gaming?
Steve?
See, I was going to go to you next because I'm going to bring up.
I'm waiting.
I kind of agree with Seth, and I'm just going to bring up one other slight point is that I mentioned earlier gaming with disabilities because there's an article I read on IGN that was done, I don't know, maybe a couple months ago. That was talking about, some guy who plays with arthritis or someone else who has a problem playing a game. I mean, you're limiting the market, and anytime you limit the market, it's just not going to work out. I mean, certain people can't use PS3 Move, and other people just don't want to use it. So when you limit the market that way, it's not going to sustain. And I think it's just it's something that's always going to be interesting to do, but never interesting to actually continue with. I mean, how many people still play Connect, and they're pushing that thing hard.
That's what she
Look,
said.
Look, and deaf people can't listen to music. I mean, sure, we're talking about narrowing the market, but how much will we narrow the market?
Are you talking about blind people?
People who are blind and one eye can't watch 3D, and it's doing pretty good.
No.
Blind people, period, can't watch it. I mean, I don't think we're really narrowing the market.
I actually read an article the other day where this is way off topic. Scientists have come up with this dye that they can inject into a blind person's eyes, and it basically just alters how much light that their eye can take in, and it makes them like they're able to see.
Outlines and stuff.
Yeah, like for a short amount of time before the injection wears off.
Yeah, I read that too. But I mean, you mentioned 3D movies. 3D movies are still a crutch. I still see them as a crutch. And yeah, it's going to isolate the market itself. So, I mean, certain people can't see 3D. It's not going to work out. You're going to see that happen all the time.
3D isn't dead yet. Like everyone kind of said it was going to be dead by now.
3D gaming's dead.
But they're still making movies and such. I mean, my point is it the next step in gaming? Is it potentially? And you're saying no.
No.
Matt.
I don't think it will be until it's way more refined. Like you said, it's just the beginning steps of it.
Are
Do
you
you think it
excited
can
about
sustain? Answer both questions at the same time.
I didn't even hear what you said, Steve.
this? The correct answer is maybe.
I was gonna go with until it's refined on a scale. You guys watch the movie Gamer?
No.
No. Why?
That's the indie one, right?
I don't remember.
No, it's not really
Oh,
indie.
oh, it has the.
Oh, the other one. Oh, sorry. No, indie game, the movie is the indie movie. Duh.
No, it's
Yeah, Gerard
Well,
Butler.
it's got that one guy.
yeah, that guy, Gerard Butler.
He's handsome, isn't he? GamerCon.
Oh my God, he's so dreamy.
Hey, so you guys are going to the convention next year, right?
All right, Matt, you brought up the movie. What about it?
Like inside of it, they had virtual reality gaming where the guy, like you actually it's like you're in the game.
Say like one more time.
Like
Why are you bringing up this movie? Yeah, I saw a movie once that had giant blue people walking around a planet.
because of that, because it was like virtual reality gaming was the movie pretty much, but like how it took such a negative aspect in culture.
Oh, this dope's getting owned. 2-on-1.
Oh
Actually, no. He's actually kicking ass.
Somebody's not into this podcast.
I'm into it. And there he goes. I just felt like interrupting randomly. Interrupting Kyle.
Huh?
Moo!
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
Got it.
No, virtual reality. Matt, do you think it'll sustain? That was my question I was going to ask at first. Do you think virtual reality can sustain in the market?
Not until it's way more refined than just
But-
these beginning
But
steps.
how do you get to refined? You would
Someone who has a lot of money and wants to pursue it.
We wouldn't have PlayStation without Super Nintendo. You wouldn't have Super Nintendo without Nintendo. The market has to determine it, and I think the market's going to say no.
To be fair, they haven't even announced any possible, game even coming up for it, any kind of system or even what system. They just kind of went with it. So we're not exactly there yet or even close.
That's why this podcast is called We Know Nothing. We're just kind of saying random shit.
Because we're just winging it, right? Right off the cuff.
Yeah. All right, what's the last couple of things? Because we got to start. I mean, if we're going to talk about games we played and reviews and stuff, we're going to talk for a while. So,
Well,
That's next, actually.
Well, I guess you really weren't paying attention, were you? Because that's the end of it.
yeah, but we never talked about the games we played.
Yeah, that's next.
Man, that's what I was supposed to do first, but no one wanted to tell me about it. I was like, yeah, just do your thing.
Yeah, it's
All right.
topic 1. Okay, Matt, look at bullet 1, please.
Intro.
Hmm.
All right, so
So you got me there.
I'm going last because once again, I think I'm the only one who's ever played anything new.
No, you're wrong.
All right, Matt, I know you haven't played anything new, so you start this one out.
Yeah, I'll go first. I'll throw out there that I played, a little bit of World of Warcraft.
Start.
Yeah.
I didn't see on StarCraft much.
I did some arena with our buddy Ryan.
He asked me first.
Yeah, I know, and he said that you were all negative Nancy about it, like always.
No, I didn't respond at all because I was on my way home from work. I actually didn't reply to him.
Yeah, anyways, we owned it for my very undergeared lock that I don't know how to play at all. And then played a little bit of StarCraft, you know.
Well, to be fair, he's kind of OP.
I'm OP too when I'm on my rogue on a class that I know how to play.
Seth, what have you played?
I actually tried out because I saw advertising for it on Newgrounds. SD Gundam Online. It was released in Japan for a while, just had its North American release. Not too many people on it, I'm gonna say. Not a bad game, but there really isn't quite enough there. The whole kind of premise is it's kind of mission based. There's co-op mode and a PvP mode. You get the whole capsule part of it is you have a random chance getting certain high Gundams. You can spend a bunch of points or real money trying to get better Gundams. It's cool. They have wide range Gundams. Co-op mode's kind of repetitive. You only have so many missions. After a while, all of them you could tell who paid for it and who has the free ones because the free ones are, everyone has except for 3 people who have the Golden Wing Zero. It was cool. I've been on it. It's not anything I think I'd pay for, but it's definitely worth a download. It's actually kind of fun. The only problem is the controls aren't the greatest. It's a little stiff. It's not real smooth.
That's what she said.
I was gonna say it!
I know, I heard you not want to interrupt Seth, so I just blurted it out first.
I hate you.
Yeah, but my biggest complaint is the controls, and that's really just not enough there. But I am playing it for free, so can't really complain.
Purple team just got wiped out, by the way. Anyone who's keeping track at home.
That's pretty much it, though, as far as what I've been playing new.
Anything at all, though? What have you been playing in general?
Flash games, I completely redid my iPhone. I got rid of a whole bunch of games. Played a humans versus zombies one, which is kind of fun. Did another little dumb RPG on there too. Don't know the name off the top of my head. Heist, dumb things like that. But
Oh, Seth, I had another article that I was going to throw in there just to take a shot at you, but I decided not to at the last moment. It was about, didn't you declare that Final Fantasy Versus 13 was going to be your last video game you ever played?
yes, it is.
And you're going to grow up and not play video games?
I've never said it on this podcast, but yes, I do say that will be my last video game I'll ever play.
So when it comes out, you're going to stop doing the podcast?
No, because I'll know even less about video games. Get it?
Anyways, the article was on people who play video games in their adulthood. They say people who play video games have a yearning for the unknown and what's out there. Like, only in a video game can you explore the ends of the earth and not know what's going to be in this cave. Where
Or a
everything,
book,
where everything on Earth, like you can go to like their example was, you could go to the whatever lake they called it. It's the deepest lake on the Earth, and like your mind just starts to wander, like what could be down there. If you go all the way down to the bottom, there's gonna be some supernatural life that we've never seen before. But no, they've already been down there, and they've already confirmed that it's just a bunch of mud.
Or a book. I'll say it again.
But you can't walk around in a book. You can't look at the bottom of the ocean in a book. They tell you what the bottom of the ocean is. You can't look around it yourself. You can't experience it for yourself. You can only experience it through the author, through one point of view.
Yep.
Do that people who play video games also masturbate 10 times more than everybody else?
You know, most statistics are just made up.
Exactly.
I just got threw it out there.
Yeah, but like their main point was that people who play video games in their adulthood just haven't lost their imagination, and they still want to believe that there's something else out there where people who don't play video games, or like have, not that they don't play video games, but they've switched like they used to when they were younger, and now they don't anymore because they're older. They just said that they've lost their imagination and they just want to get on with their mundane lives and do the same thing every day and be boring.
That's what it sounds like to me. I think playing video games every day is a mundane life.
Oh no.
Not when you're exploring caves and oceans.
Yeah, so how many video games do you play that you're exploring caves and oceans?
Skyrim and
Matt doesn't play that.
Skyrim.
Fucking him.
and Skyrim. No, but in conjunction with that, there's also an article on IGN about a guy, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I just decided not to bring it up. He plays video games with OCD, and his whole thing is he has to see every last corner. He has to see everything like that. And that kind of just goes along with Matt's argument that you have to see everything. I agree with it.
Yeah, my OCD gets annoying sometimes when I play video games. Like
That
that's
sounds
why
like a fucking nut.
it's why I stopped playing Diablo 3 because I would search every little last inch of the map and break everything that I could, just the chance there's gonna be an item that I'd miss. And I just got so tired of doing that I just stopped playing the game altogether.
What was the name of the person in that article, Steven? Jesus.
I don't know. I stopped paying
Was it?
attention.
Was
Oops.
Was it me?
Didn't mean to say that. I mean, what?
I didn't even hear what you said.
I said your last name, Raffle.
Oh.
Who cares? Add him on Facebook, Matthew Zawissa. He's the one that looks like an idiot.
Yeah, 10 points to anybody who could spell it the first time, right?
Yeah, it's not like they can find him anyway. They can't spell it.
Oh, anyway, Steve, what have you been playing?
A lot. I've probably been playing the most gaming. I think it's because I'm starting work again that I've actually played in a long time. I'll touch on the Secret World last, but I've been continuing Rainbow Moon. I've been doing Gotham City
Any better?
Imposters.
Any better?
Just same grind. I got one more character. I just want to finish it on hard for the trophies at this point. Once I get to the end game, I'm not going to mind it as much. I've kind of added my own difficulty into it, but just not being as high enough level. But a lot of the load games going on in that case. I'm trying to remember what else I've played. I mean, the Secret World had its free weekend, as I mentioned last week, that I've enjoyed. Just a quick touch on Gotham City Imposters. First-person shooter I've actually paid for in a long time, and I'm glad I did. It's a fun game with new elements. But off the top of my head, that's the only new thing. I've played 3 new games. I'm going to be playing The Walking Dead Parts 1 and 2 because they're free on PlayStation Plus this week. So, besides that, just the regulars. League of Legends, I've been playing a lot of games of. Waiting to get back into World of Warcraft. You know, the usual.
I'm back, by the way.
You gonna go on any review of the Secret whatever?
The Secret World? Because I've only told you the name of the game about 8 times already. I've had a lot more fun with it than I've had with other cookie-cutter MMOs that I've played. The no leveling system, as they explained, is kind of bull. You get ability points and skill points. Spend skill points, obviously, to buy new skills. Ability points allows you to basically
Let me
wear
guess.
high-level
More
armor.
abilities.
No. You wear higher-level armor. And so unless you get level 4, you can't wear quality 4 armor. So to do that, you have to progress through the game, fight harder enemies. I've had very few complaints about it. I just don't think it's sustainable enough for $15 a month. I mean, the voice acting is mediocre at best. The cinematics I couldn't stand. And missions need a little more. I don't know, they got to point you in a better direction before, but that's also the type of game it is. I mean, certain missions are purely just investigation missions, where they don't tell you anything about the mission, you just have to find the spot you're supposed to go to. But besides that, combat was very refreshing. The mission structure was refreshing. The UI was one of the first unique UIs I've seen in a video game in a long, long time. I really enjoyed the game. I wish and they're basically already structured to go into a free-to-play model because they have their own store for microtransactions. But I doubt they're actually going to go free-to-play anytime soon. If they do, I'm playing it. They tell me $8 a month, I'm probably going to get it. But right now, as it stands, $15 a month. It's just not enough content yet. And I think, as I was going to go into, a big problem with MMOs I have right now is the fact that you have World of Warcraft, which has so much content available for $15 a month. It's hard for the market to be able to play anything else. Any
I like
thoughts
your
or critiques on that?
I like your thought, but it's all for me. I've already seen all that content. It's just old and boring to me.
Yeah, but are you not going
Yeah,
to want to play a new game and get reinvested into a game now, are you? That's the problem.
Absolutely not.
But if I were to play any new MMO, I'd rather play this. If Star Wars wasn't going free to play, I'd play this before I play Star Wars.
I'm offended. I've
It's,
been waiting for you forever, and you're about to ditch me.
I'm not going to because it's not going free to play. But it's a very, very fun game. I enjoyed it a lot. I actually went Katana or Blade. I know you're gonna think I'm just being like a cheeseball, but it's really because they're one of the two melee classes and they heal themselves as they go on. So I thought it'd be a nice blended DPS and tank I can play as. And the structure is pretty nice. I mean, you can't. They tell you can switch on the fly, whatever you want to do, but to put in all that time to go down the healing tree and this tanking tree and the support tree, and there's so many supports, so many healings. I mean, it'd be virtually forever. And then you can only have. Oh, last thing I got to touch on, something I liked that most people won't, is you can only have 7 items on your bottom bar. You can only have 7 active abilities and 7 passive abilities at one time. You can switch them out of combat, but you can never use more than that. So you can't have your 37 buttons all at once like you can on WoW. What's your opinion on that, Matt? That you can only use 7 and 7?
I think it really limits the game because you're putting a cap on the skill, I guess. Whereas in WoW, you have all your abilities. If you don't use them all, you're gonna be bad.
But unlike WoW, I can have something from Warrior, something from Rogue, and something from Death Knight all separately on my same bar. They have to do that in a game like this because otherwise I'll have 1 bar of tanking, 1 bar of healing, 1 bar of DPS, and I'd just be basically one unstoppable person. But to be able to switch on the fly in between dungeons, say, oh, we need a little more healing, we can switch healing, and then I can switch over to that. I like that structure a lot more than current MMOs. I think it's something that's unique. You haven't seen it yet, and I wish it just gets more people to play the game because it was a great game.
Sounds like dual spec.
Well, to me, it adds a little
but-
bit more. Go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
unlike dual spec, I can have tank healing damage. In between combat, I just drag on and off the bar. I can equip all healing gear. I can equip all tanking gear, all DPS gear. I can go from range to melee DPS. I can do whatever I want. It's like every single spec you want, but you're not going to get that until you've played the game. I'm sure nobody right now who's played the game can do that, just because at the rate you get AP and skill points, leveling up a second structure. I had trouble enough leveling up the first one, and I put a lot of time into that game. So
It still sounds exactly like dual spec. I can change my gear set and all my talent points with the click of a button.
but your shaman can't tank, can he?
You can play druid. They have everything.
No, they don't have everything.
Yes,
You don't have.
they have tanking. They have melee DPS. They have range DPS, and they have healing.
Fine, everyone's a druid in this game, basically, who can do anything they want. Does that make
I
you
think
happy?
Matt kind of brought up how it takes away the skill from the game. It just kind of adds a different skill of what abilities to choose when.
Exactly.
Especially, I'm not sure. Does it have any player versus player element to it?
Yes, I didn't
Has-
go into it. I didn't go into. I wanted to limit my experience to just my solo gameplay for this review. And just in case I ever did get the game, I can go into instances. They do have instances. They got PvP. I mean, they've got regular content available.
I feel like it's gonna have a cookie cutter element, and if you're not using these abilities, you're not gonna be playing to the best.
As long as they make more than 7 good abilities, then there won't be a cookie cutter element.
I think what you'll see is people having to switch for encounters. I think it adds a new level of skill. I mean, I'll be
And
switch from tank. I mean, I might have to switch to a different type of DPS for a certain fight, and if I can't, then I'm not good enough for it, or I'm just not smart enough to figure out what is needed for every fight. I mean, how many times in WoW do you see 12, 13 mages at the same time? That's bullshit to me. And this game allows everyone to be able to do everything, basically.
Everyone's a druid.
Last time I saw that was 40 druids taking out Onyxia.
Exactly. But this game, if you need someone else to tank, you need someone else to heal, you need something else, you can do it. And if you're going through a regular dungeon, it'll be helpful the further along the game goes. And limiting that, you're not going to have everyone being able to do everything all the time. So I like it. I like the structure. But I guess we're going to agree to disagree on that one.
I'm
See?
neutral.
You guys get me all the time, no matter what I do. If I'm neutral, you pick on me. If I go against you, you pick on me.
Because
Yes,
you're
that's why
easy
we're
to pick
friends.
on. Yeah. You're the fat kid. You don't. We got a little extra time. Anything else you guys want to go into? I mean, I could always bring up Gotham City Imposters if you got nothing else, but
I've got nothing. I was going to round it out with our outro, but if you want to add in something else, be my guest.
yeah,
Outro.
I guess this will probably be cutting a little bit of this because it's kind of a mess. If you guys haven't heard the mess, then I did a good job editing. If it sounds really skippy, then I did a shitty job. But last thing is Gotham City Imposters. This game's been out for a while, and I've been stalled to playing it because I just didn't. It looked too bland to me. It's a Batman game without Batman in it. It's just, I don't know. It seemed iffy to me. Once I played it though, it has very unique shooter elements that you don't really see in other games. Like each person has this different type of body type, movement type. The weapons are completely different. They're not standard MM or shooter weapons. Sure, some things are overpowered. Like I glide through the air, and I use these air vents. I use the big guy, so I drop right on top of everybody, and it just owns everybody flat out. But I mean, I actually want you two to buy it or get PlayStation Plus for $17 for 3 months because you guys will have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just sounds mad at me.
I mean, I've been going easily 2-to-1 kill to death ratio for my past 30 games.
So there's really a lot of bad players on there, huh?
Oh yeah, Matt, Mr. I'm so good at all first-person shooters, but I've never been able to come up with a good example of it. Anyway, round out this podcast.
You're funny.
Matt, anything else you want to plug? Anything else you've been
Me-
listening to, watching lately?
Music, TV, movies, etc. That part.
Maybe.
Oh, nice. We can hear your. It's a muting of.
Better than me coughing, huh?
Just picking on you, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but all I listened to at work today was Yellow Card's new album. I downloaded their stream off of YouTube, threw it on my iPod, and just pounded that out all day. Overall, I think it's a
That's what
pretty
she
decent.
said.
It's a pretty decent album. I like pretty much all the songs on it. Seems to be my trend with music lately for the past couple of years. I seem to like the bands that I like. I like every song on their new albums. I don't like dislike any particular one. I don't think it's gonna live up to the hype of the greats like Ocean Avenue and Way Away and Paper Walls and like the big songs. But I feel like there's a lot of good songs on the CD and it's gonna do well. You guys should listen.
Is there a stream open you said you were listening to?
Yeah, just go on YouTube, type Yellow Card Southern Air.
Oh, they don't have any kind of exclusive site hosting it?
No, the record company threw it right up on YouTube.
Very nice.
Yep.
Steven, anything?
Jack shit. I played a lot of games, so everything else is kind of fallen to the wayside. I've been
What about
watching
Big Brother?
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I've been watching Big Brother. Matt hasn't watched it yet, or this past day, so I'm not gonna do any spoilers yet. But
Yeah, please don't.
the house turns on somebody. But that's all I'm gonna say. Matt,
Isn't that
what have
every
you been doing
episode?
recently? Nah. Matt, what have you been listening to? Watch? No, you already covered it. Seth.
Good job listening.
Well, League of Legends game ended, so I had to quit out of it.
Oh wow! Yeah, we hear the clicking. One thing on YouTube I kind of rediscovered.
I get chills every time I watch this video. Blood Legion versus the Lich King 10 World First. If you haven't seen it, watch the whole 20 minutes, and like at the 15 or 16 minute mark is when everyone first realizes Arthas knocks everybody out. The reactions, it has like a lot of techno before it, and that's all you hear. So then they turn the mics on for their world first kill. It really got me. I mean, it got me excited for a while again. It's kind of part of the reason I came back. Aside from that, same old music, nothing new. Same old TV, nothing new.
And before Matt goes into the outro, if you want to contact us, email us at knownothingpc@gmail.com. KNOWNOTHINGPC@gmail.com. Facebook.com/knownothing. Twitter.com/knownothing. Just let us know if you're listening, and if you are, tweet us, follow us. Let us know what you think.
I guess that's it.
Yep.
Everyone give their salutes. Lee!
See ya.
Salutes. Salutations.
Bitch.
Who cares? Bye.